Hello, hi everyone. My name is Olalike Peter Olaokbar, or you can call me Peter Olaokbar. I am a Microsoft Certified Trainer (MCT), a Senior Microsoft Dynamics Functional Consultant, and today I would be giving us an overview, introductory session to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales and navigate us through the environment, show us the capability of Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales, show us how efficient it can be for our business, how flexible this can be, and essentially why businesses need to migrate to this particular business solution. So join me as we just start this course. Right, so we'll be starting with the learning part, which is to get started with Dynamics 365 sales. And the module agenda is the introduction to Dynamics 365 sales, configure organization and management settings. Let's delve into this. Introduction to Dynamics 365 sales. So, the learning objective here, right, is to know how to navigate throughout the Dynamics 365 sales app, identify key features, offsprings in Dynamics 365 sales products, manage customers, documentations, and campaigns. But basically, we're going to be going through just the customer feature right now before we dive into the documentation and campaign in our next video series, right? So let's go. Dynamics 365 Sales Overview. This is a model-driven app on a dataverse platforms. If you're familiar with the Microsoft technologies right now, you would understand that we have the model-driven app and we have the Canvas app. So, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales Customer Service are built on the modern driven app. Now, it enables organizations to build strong relationship with customers, take action based on insights, close sales faster, and nurture sales from leads to order. Right. So we are going to be also be going through the sales life cycle, and we'll see how this can be helpful for your business. Now, the feature overview of the Microsoft 365 sales module is from the customer, lead, opportunity, quote, order, invoice, and the product catalog. Right. So basically, the life cycle of the sales life cycle basically is you capture your lead, you nurture your lead until they become opportunities, you provide a code, and then the invoice lands as a customer finally. So an overview, we can also embed Microsoft Office 365 tools. These are called productivity tools like your Excel, your Word, your Office, your PowerPoint, and the likes. You also have Teams integration as well, which is a very useful feature, most especially for collaboration among team members, line managers, and better communication within the business or within the organization. You probably can call that like a modern workspace, basically, right? So we have the product catalog. We'll be delving more into this in much later videos, and we also have Microsoft Power Platform, the SharePoint, and OneDrive integration, where documents are being stored, basically the document library section of Microsoft Dynamics or maybe Microsoft Technologies. Now, I'm also going to be navigating you through the interface, right, of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales Module. As you can see, we have at the top section here is called the business process flow. In short, it's also called the BPF, where you have different checklists of validation points before you proceed to the next step. So basically, if you are not done with a particular process, you cannot move into the next step. And under each of these processes, like we can see the qualify, develop, propose, and close. Right under each of these particular steps, right, there are different fields that shows that okay, you've validated all these fields before you can actually proceed, right? It's very flexible. I mean, if your business process, right, is not structured into, I mean, if your sales business process is not structured into this business process flow, of course, Microsoft Dynamics is very flexible. I guess that's why they call it Dynamics, right? Something that is very flexible is dynamic. You can customize this to fit into your own particular structure, right? And we also have the form here. This is called the sales form, right? And on the sales form, Like I mentioned earlier, you have the business process flow, and you have the details of the customer on the customer card. Or you also have the timeline. So timeline are where various activities are being tracked. We're talking of activities from booking appointments, from assigning tasks, creating tasks, from logging in phone calls, right? We have a whole lot of activities, even sending emails as well. To here, you also have the assist feature. So the assist feature basically reminds us when there is a particular activity that is supposed to be taking place. Maybe in the next 1 week, or in the next couple of hours, or in the next month. It depends on the particular criteria you use to set this up. And we also have a particular section of the form called stakeholders. So stakeholders that are involved, or stakeholders that are responsible for this particular lead or sales process that we are working in through. Also, there are actually very various features, right, on a sales form. So if your business doesn't fit into this particular out of the box, right, features or cards on the form, you can as well modify it to fit your business process, and it's going to be flexible as we go. So let me go to the next slide before we get our hands dirty to interact with the environment. So overview of the sales products, right, in Dynamics 365, basically licensing. We have the sales professional, which allows sales automation. We have sales enterprise. It gives you features like sales automation plus contextual insights and advanced customization capability. You have the sales premium, which gives you sales automation plus it gives you AI driven insight as well. We also have the Microsoft relationship sales that connect sales records with LinkedIn. All right, we also have Microsoft Copilot for sales, where you have various features like Microsoft 365 and Teams automatically capture and access and also register data into your CRM system, basically. Right, so this depends on the purchase power of each organization, right? To depend on the kind of license that they actually want to get. If you are not much of a larger organization, you can go for the sales professional. If you're on the very large scale, I mean, you can go for the enterprise, as the name implies, and the likes. So we have the next slide, which talks about the sales process overview, more like the sales process life cycle, right? We have application designed for out of the box use or configurations to match unique business processes. Now, a lot of people might get confused when they hear out of the box, out of the box, out of the box. So out of the box actually mean default presets that comes with the Microsoft Dynamics technologies. So basically, in a simpler term, it means when you purchase the license for Dynamics 365 for sales or for any other module like the CRM, the out of the box feature are the default settings, the default configurations, the default forms, the default cards, the default features that come with it. If those features are okay for you, right, there's probably no need for you to, add any customizations or modify any of those features. I mean, because Microsoft actually have their customers in mind by making business process seamless and simple as possible. So that's why we have a whole lot of good, out of the box functionality that aids your business efficiency. We also have the business process flow streamlined sales process. Now, I was talking about the sales process life cycle, right? And I mentioned it starts from the lead. Your lead could be anywhere. Your lead could be captured from online events, could be captured from webinars, could be captured from seminars as well. Your leads could also be captured from various places. For example, we are talking about maybe marketers that are going on site or on the field to actually interact with prospects. Prospects in this sense are called leads, so you better get familiar with the terminologies that we're going to be using right in Microsoft Dynamics because it's very interesting. So permit me for the some my door just got open. So this sales process lifecycle basically starts from the lead. When the lead is ready to do business with the company or the organization, right, it then graduates to being an opportunity. So when that lead is in an opportunity stage, when you have that opportunity, an opportunity tells you, okay, fine, I'm ready to do business with you, right? So give me your code, let me review this. If it's okay for me, I'll go ahead and proceed to do business with you. But if it's not okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to proceed. So, in that particular process, the lead could be as lost or as won. So, depending on your business process, some particular businesses, their operation is when a lead is lost, they just discard that lead. When a lead is won, they proceed with that lead. So some other businesses, when a lead is lost, they keep that lead. So when an opportunity is lost, permit me, they keep that opportunity and keep nurturing that opportunity. Maybe by pushing out more business campaign of selling to them. If they have their biodata like maybe date of birth and anniversary and stuff, they can be sending automated emails to celebrate them on each of these specific and special days to them. And that could also revive a lost opportunity to a one opportunity. So when an opportunity gets a quote, if he accepts the code and is ready to proceed, he reviews the code, responds back to the business, requests an order. An order is being created, shipped to the opportunity, and an invoicing is taking place. So basically, you have the sales lifecycle process from the lead to the opportunity, then the quote, order, and invoices. Mind you, in between these processes, there are various um, you know processes that actually run concurrently. So when a lead is created, you nurture the lead, you keep following up with the lead. When an opportunity is won or lost, depends on your business process. You might decide to do whatever you want to do with with the opportunity. Also for quotes, if the opportunity mentions, okay, fine, your quote is maybe is not really budget friendly for me, right? That particular quote can be revised. So there's a feature right in the sales module. We're going to get to that and go much more later. This is just like a introductory video of the efficiency and how Microsoft Dynamics can be useful for your business. So, when the quote is revised, we have a feature that increments or iterates the number of times a particular quote is being revised. Right. So, I think it starts from zero. When you send the first quote and it's been revised, you increment by one. Then, if it's revised again, it keeps iterating up until the quote is being finalized by the customer, and you have your order and your invoice. So that's just the general sales process overview or sales process lifecycle. So let's go to the next slide, which talks about the business process flow in Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales, right? So we should be not we should be familiar with the BPF I mentioned earlier when introducing us to the sales form, right? Also on the leads form, also we also have that same process called the business process flow, and the business process flow, like I've told you, it's basically validation points to qualify a particular lead, right, or promote the lead to an opportunity. So most organizations have like different processes and procedures, right, that they use when working on items. Basically, for example, a company might have a sales process that they use for moving customers through, right, sales life cycle, right. In Dynamics 365, basically, it helps process everyone to follow best practices. So that's just what the business process flow is, right? The business process flow helps every user, every agent, everyone interacting with the system to follow best practices. And this is often good for efficiency and to also track the history of a particular lead to understand, okay, why didn't this lead qualify? Why did this lead qualify? Was there something the agent who is interacting with this, application didn't do, right? And the likes. Even when they are handling situations that don't occur often, right? You can complete a step by entering data or marking the step as complete in the process bar on the top right of the screen. So this is the process bar, right? And when all stages have been selected, you can just, when all validations have been checked or imputed, right, you can just proceed to the next stage. So these are the fields. So there are always fields in each of these processes. Right, so let's go to the next slide. We should understand the common terms used in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So we have the account, we have activities, we have AI, business process flow, we have caller contact and customers and the like. So I'm going to be explaining each of them one after the other, the ones that we are really familiar with, that we actually use as consultants basically. Although we use everything, but there are some specifics that are just supposed to be used. General standard process basically. So accounts are basically companies that you've done business with, right? So I had a lead before, the lead became an opportunity, and it's now an opportunity one. When it's now an opportunity one, it's now a customer, so it's now an account, basically. So activities include engagements that you know, nurture a lead through. So activities could involve emails, activities could involve logging in phone calls, activities could involve scheduling appointments, activities could involve even drafting notes on what exactly transpired between the agent and the lead. Basically, we have tons of activities, but that's just a general overview of what features we have under the activities section in Dynamic. And the activity section is always located right in the timeline. So we have the AI, we have the AI artificial intelligence feature, Copilot, which can actually help you summarize, you know, maybe total scores of leads that are being generated, leads that are being want to understand why some particular leads are not converting and how best you can actually improve that particular metrics. Oh, we are not new to the business process flow again. This is a particular common term, right? So basically, the business process flow are process steps that enable agents or users interacting with the system to follow best practices, right? So I'm going to skip Cola because it's not a feature always used to using. So I'll go to contact. So contacts in Dynamics 365 represent individuals, right? So a typical example could be if I'm working for, let's say, XYZ organization, let's say 1691 Tech Solutions, right? I know those guys are good. They supply me my gadgets anytime, I purchase gadgets from them, and they've never failed me. In fact, I like their customer support. So, a company like 1691, right? If I have a contact in that company, that becomes a contact in Dynamics 365. So I can have, let's say, Olalike, me, Peter, as a contact of 1691 Tech Solutions, right? So that is the best way I can actually explain contact. Accounts are organizations, while contacts are individuals. Then we have customers. Customers generally are either accounts or contacts. Then we have the data model, we have tables. So tables can also be called entities. So entities are the table houses where data is actually stored basically. So in Dynamics, we have the sitemap. The sitemap contains different entities or different tables. So account, activities, contact are tables. The lead is a table. Opportunity is a table. We have columns. I'm sure we know what columns are. So on this straight line where you see from activity to customer, that's one column. From data model to rows, that is another column. From sales hub to view, that is another column. So we have three columns on this particular slide that I'm sharing. So the lead, like I've explained, the lead is a prospect. The lead is an individual or a company who is interested in doing business with you, right? But if that particular individual or if that particular lead hasn't converted into an opportunity, hasn't showed interest as an opportunity, then it's still going to be as a lead. Basically, we have the product catalog. So if you have a business that you know is into services or software or hardware sales, right? You can structure a product catalog in Dynamics 365. So whenever an opportunity is interested in a particular product, you simply just attach that product in the system to a particular customer who is interested and continue the sales process life cycle from there. And just to not take much of our time or boss with these conversations, we'll proceed to rows. I've explained columns and rows. I'm sure we're familiar with that. And Sales Hub is the application that we're using to access the sales feature in Microsoft Dynamics 365. So, an interesting feature in Microsoft Dynamics, not just limited to the sales or customer service, I'm talking about Microsoft Dynamics in general, because it encompasses a whole lot of applications, is actually the security role, right? So, security roles are access driven are access driven features to individuals. So what do I mean? So if, for example, as the team lead, I'm supposed to see some particular type of data on my own interface, right? I don't expect my members or people that I'm actually leading, my team members, to be able to have some particular set of data, right? That's where the security role comes in, basically used to restricting access on data visibility when it comes to different hierarchies in organizations. So we have the sitemap as well. I'm going to be showing us the sitemap. We have the solution, unified interface, user and view. So let me just briefly just explain this to you. So let me just go back. Apologies for that. So the solution basically is where different configurations are being created that is going to be implemented for the system that suits the business process of an organization. So solution involves the configuration, right, of Dynamics 365 that is streamlined to suit the business process of that particular organization. So the unified interface is basically the interface in which the agent or the user of Microsoft Dynamics is interacting with. Then we have the user, of course, it can be an agent, it can be a user that is interacting with the system, and we have a view. The view is basically what the particular user can see, how the particular user can see this, and how the particular user or agent can structure different data on how we can see all those data basically. So let me just I think we have a few more slides to go. So working with customers, like we all know in the business world, we have B2B customers, we also have business to customers, customers, right, and we also have the hybrid customers as well. So working with customers as account represents a company or organization that you do business with, like I explained earlier, what customers mean and what accounts mean. So customers could represent a company or organization that you actually do business with. We're going to also see this interface and we're going to understand the structure and how this helps the business perform more efficiently. So, working with customers as contact. So, like I mentioned earlier, so contacts are individuals, right? That the organization does business with. So, contacts represent individuals that your organization does business with. Like I gave an example, I shop at 1691 Tech Solutions. They provide me all my gadgets and accessories that I use to work basically. And I as Peter Olalike Olakwa or Olalike Peter Olakwa can be a contact to 1691 since I'm working with them. So we're going to stop there for now. Let's delve into the application itself, right? So let's see what we have here. So I'm going to just switch my screen to another. So, sorry about the glitch. So, we have the meetings feature, which is used to schedule appointments. I know we are not new to this. I explained this in the calendar feature, right, in the beginning of introductory view of the environment, right? So, we have scheduling an appointment if it's a Teams meeting, and automatically a Teams link is going to be generated and sent to Alex. So, let's just see how the Teams link is being generated, right? So, follow up call on meeting based on phone call interest based on interest meeting. This is going to be a Teams meeting. We've scheduled this already, and start time is going to be, let's say, 2 p.m. and then by 2:30, and let's save and close. Great. Now we see that this detail has created a meeting link already for us to have this appointment with Alex, and automatically, right, this is going to be sent to Alex email. Why? Because we have his email already in the contacts section here. So that's the beauty of Dynamics. You don't need to now copy this link and look for his email and send it to his automatically. This as automatically while we schedule this appointment, it sends this email to the customer, and when the customer accepts this invite, automatically it books the customer's calendar down for that duration of meeting that we're going to have, or appointment basically. So that's just a brief introduction of the timeline. Like you can see the various activities on the timeline. You can create tasks, like I mentioned earlier. You can also assign tasks to um, other persons, maybe a business unit or a team. So I can just say a task can be make sure you attend to this customer wants an on-site. Alex wants an on-site meeting. Let's say he cancelled the Teams me and requested a representative, a representative PRS here meet up at his office tomorrow. Okay, so cancelled. This is gonna be due tomorrow. Um, Meeting is for 1 p.m. You can't have meeting at 1 a.m. Can you? 1 p.m. and you can save this. Right, so all these activities that we've created, right, are being tracked on the timeline to, properly audit this particular record, this particular lead record. Now, I was talking about the assign feature, and I mentioned that I was going to show you how it works. Right, so I have this tax right here now, and I want to assign this tax to somebody else, right? So when a tax is assigned, you have the opportunity to, when a tax is created, permit me, you have the opportunity to assign this tax. You have the opportunity to mark it as complete. That's to close the activity if the tax is being completed. You also have the ability to add this tax to a queue, right? So when you're done with a particular process, the next process should be to attend to this particular task. You also have the opportunity to expand or open this tax record and delete this tax as well. So I can just easily assign this record, assign this tax, yeah, and I could assign it to a user or a team. So we're still going to delve in much more deeper in our next videos, right, on what a user is and who a team is, right. And so when I search through the records here, let me see, I just select a record here and assign this. Okay, awesome. So this record has been assigned already to uh, somebody else. We're going to see who that record was assigned to. So when I open this record here, let's see if it's going to give us the name. Can you now see the owner of this record belongs to the person that I assigned this particular task to? So it's a very flexible approach. Instead of manually just typing this on Teams to say I want you to do this, right, you can just assign that record to um, maybe a team or another user within your business unit or your team. And you can see, since we scheduled an appointment, automatically it has popped up in our next sequence, right, to say okay, now what you have next is to follow up with the customer, right, and this is the appointment that we created. So as you create more activities, you see it being populated right on the up next session when you have disconnected the sequence. So if you feel your business doesn't work with the sequence approach, or if you think it's a new process that is going to be important or useful for your business. I mean, you can use it. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about the sales sequence, and we're going to see how it works basically. So let's stop here for now. We stopped at the leads. Next video, we're going to be creating a sales sequence. We're going to be qualifying leads. We're going to be creating opportunities. We're going to understand what happens when an opportunity is lost and when an opportunity is won, and we're gonna take it from there. My name is Peter Olalike. You can just check me out on LinkedIn. Peter Olalike Olakwa. I'm a senior Microsoft Dynamics CRM ERP consultant and MCT. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video. Ciao.